Just welcome everyone to the New Grantee Orientation. We are just so thrilled to be in community with you all today. And happy Women's Month. So I'm hoping that everyone is feeling good and encouraged. We're going to head over to the next screen. And if possible, please place your attention on the screen for some screen updates and just some housekeeping before we jump into our session. So we would ask that everyone please begin updating your display name. And the ways that you can do that is that you can go into the participant windows and highlight or hover around your name, click more. And then once you hit more, you're going to see a tab drop down and you will hit rename. When you rename yourselves, we ask that you add your name, your pronouns, and your organization, and then that you hit OK. And that way, should we engage in conversation, we know who's chatting and who's talking with us. A couple of reminders. We encourage you to be on camera if possible. We'd love to see you all. And also just remember to keep your mic muted, especially while we have our presentation going. Using the chat feature is also encouraged. We want to see lots of dialogue, lots of conversation, but be mindful, the chat when you are DM one another is not private. So just be kind and courteous when we are engaging in offline conversations because they're not really offline. This meeting is also being recorded for the future view. So we all know that you may have team members or teammates who are not in community with us today, and we will be more than happy to share this recording with them for our new grantee orientation. So we're going to jump right into our introductions. Who are we? Who are these people who are conducting and facilitating this space? Well, my name is Kanisha Lenore Jean-Baptiste. I'm a proud first-generation Haitian American, and my pronouns are she, her. I was born in Las Vegas, Nevada, the ancestral Paiute land, and I serve as a training and capacity manager here with Youth Collaboratory, serving in our liberation focus area. In our liberation focus area, we focus a lot on our anti-trafficking, sex trafficking work. My experiences range from combating human trafficking to advocating for housing justice, for equitable housing for young people experiencing homelessness, and building community through equitable and transformational services. Although based in Las Vegas, I am rooted from the beautiful island of Haiti, also known as Haiti, with my bloodline tracing back to Western Africa. I'm a fierce advocate building networks of resilience throughout the diaspora and centering the experience of survivors and Black women and girls impacted from historic and present day oppression. My community is made up of imaginative leaders, and many of those incredible people who are on this call today who are also my village. And I am privileged to be in the session with many of them, and one who I'm going to pass over the mic to, Daisha.
So hello, everyone. My name is Deja Petway, but I do go by Deja Petway. My pronouns are she, her. I was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. I am a training and capacity building manager here at Youth Collaboratory. And I have the pleasure of working alongside these two amazing queens. And I'm also a GAB lead, in which I have the pleasure of working with amazing Black queens who are young adults in this work, which I'm super excited for y'all here to meet in a moment. A little bit about me and my approach here in this work. I really try to implement my passion and my resilience for my lived expertise to my work. I was a former Youth Coast Catalyst team member for Youth Lab and transferred to a training capacity building manager here. But I've been at the center of this work from the beginning. I bring my own expertise in foster care, youth homelessness, commercial sexual exploitation of children, mentoring and youth leadership design. I also did advocacy work and really supported young leaders and help advocate for change. I also experienced with direct care service work. The path that brought me to this work was my own personal life expertise and knowing where their gaps are in this field, and wanted to center more youth and young adult voices in the work that we do, and wanted to engage more with survivors into this work, and wanted to do it through an equitable lens. So I'm super excited to be meeting you all. And if y'all hear little ones in the background, I do have my kids home. So if by any chance y'all hear them, they're here. But I'm going to pass it over to Joy.
Thank you, Deja, and thank you, Lenore. It's so great to be in community with all of you today, to finally meet you and hopefully see your faces in a little while. My name is Joy. I use she, her pronouns, and I am situated on the ancestral lands of the Ohlone people, also known as Oakland, California. And again, I'm really, really happy to be here. I have been in this work for a while now. I have a lot of experience developing best practice programs from the ground up in the anti-trafficking field, education, mentoring world. I have a special place in my heart for working collaboratively across systems with social service providers, healthcare providers, members of law enforcement, victim service providers, and federal governmental agencies. But I can say my favorite part of my work history is working alongside youth and young adults in their journey. And I feel most impactful in my work when I have created or been a part of co-creating pathways to leadership for youth and young adults. I currently serve as a director of programs at Youth Collaboratory for the Building Community and Liberation focus areas. And through that work, I'm able to really focus on strategy and visioning for preventing and ending human trafficking, enhancing mentoring programs enhancing mentoring program practices that span over 40 states. And also working to end youth homelessness. So again, I'm really happy to be here and looking forward to getting to know each of you. Now I get to do the really exciting thing of introducing or making space for the introduction of some of our Girls Action Board members. So I'd like to pass it to Toya to introduce herself.
Hi everyone, my name is Toyin Below, pronouns she, her, hers. I'm a YCT GAP consultant and actually recently just became one of the new GAP leads at Youth Collaboratory. I started this work with hopes of instilling change in all systems that negatively impact Black girls and homeless and foster youth. I was born and raised in Waterbury, CT, and currently study at UConn as an undergraduate student. And with that, I'll pass it to my colleague, Michaela.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michaela Dawkins, pronouns she and her. I'm from New Haven, Connecticut, and I'm also a part of the Youth Catalyst team and Girls Action Board through their dual degree master program. Found being a reproductive justice enthusiast and also serving with my service sorority, Alpha sorority. I bring with me my identities of being a child with an incarcerated parent and a bereaved child. And I also just love working with marginalized identities such as the LGBTQ plus community. And with that, I will pass it to Senior Policy Advisor Cynthia Urich.
Thank you so much. Make sure you can hear me okay. It is such a pleasure to finally see some names and hopefully see some more faces and meet those of you that I haven't. Again, my name is Cindy Eric. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm a senior policy advisor with the Office for Victims of Crime. I've been with DOJ coming up on 19 years, and I'm the program manager for all of the Preventing Trafficking of Girls Awards since 2020. And on behalf of Director Chris Rose, welcome to the OVC community. Our mission is to enhance the nation's capacity to assist crime victims and to provide leadership in changing policies and practices and to promote justice and healing for all victims of crime. My role will be to help ensure that you are compliant with all of the programmatic, administrative, and financial requirements of your OVC funded award. And through our time together, I will work with you to help you meet your individual program objectives and implementation plans. I'll be reviewing your progress reports, performing desk reviews, and hopefully be able to meet you all in person at some point on our journey together. I will also have the support of the OVC Human Trafficking Division, which is a team dedicated to supporting victim-centered and trauma-informed programs, policies, and resources that promote justice, access, and empowerment. To give you a sense of the community that you are now part of, the OVC Human Trafficking Division currently manages the largest amount of federal funding for human trafficking victim services across the federal government. We currently oversee almost 500 awards totaling over $325 million. Right here on the screen, you'll also see our interactive map where you can see, you can go into this link. I'm going to put all the links to all of these links to everything I'm mentioning in the chat when I'm finished. But this is a great resource to see what other federally funding programs are in your state to make sure that you're collaborating, you're partnering, and just seeing what else is going on, again, within your local community that's being federally funded. These are some of our youth focused initiatives. Again, I know we have a lot to cover, so I'm just going to skip through many of these. We have tremendous resources. Again, I'm going to put the links on our page. And then I'll turn it over to your fabulous team at Youth Collaboratory. You are surrounded by some of the best of the best. You're going to see their passion, their knowledge, their skills, and their expertise. We are here to support you in your efforts throughout the life of your award. And I thank you for all of your work, everything that you're doing, the programs that you support in service of our youth. And I look forward to working with you all. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Cindy. So now let's get into the meat of it. We're just gonna go over some objectives. So welcome and foster community of change agents, review OVC requirements and objectives. We're gonna introduce yourself, those of you who aren't familiar to us here at Youth Collaboratory, to introduce Youth Collab's training and technical assistance approach, baseline assessment and learning collaborative, and discuss overall project goals. So this is the fun part for me because this is a chance for us to get to know you all and get to hear from you all. So please unmute and introduce yourselves with your name, your pronouns, role in this project, and why you're passionate about the work. And for timing, we're just asked that we keep them to a minute per person. So we're gonna start off in this order. And do we have anybody from Empower to come?
Hi, my name is Megan Westmoreland, and I am, oh man, I didn't get all four of the things I'm supposed to
I'll
talk.
put it in the chat.
I'm gonna check it out. Okay. Yes, so my name is Megan Westmoreland. Pronouns are she and her. City and state is Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And then role in the OVC grant. I'm actually the grant writer slash kind of program developer. So I'll be working with the team as we kind of get it going. And I'm passionate about this work because the need is just so so vast. You know, it's important that we continue to push forward and empower our girls and you know, just prepare them for the future. So
Yes, thank you so much. And is there anybody else from your team?
Yes, Michelle Johnson here. I work on the grant. I am a case manager and the peer-to-peer specialist. I have been doing this for several years now. This is actually my fourth human trafficking grant that I've worked on. So I'm just excited to be here and be a part of it. I also have our director of our program, so I'll let her introduce.
I'm Alice Cole, and I oversee the Hope Department, which is everything to do with the human trafficking world, and so honored to be a part.
Yes, thank you so much for that. So nice meeting you all. I'm excited to, you know, get to be on this journey with you all. Next we have San Diego Youth Services.
Hi everyone, my name is Renata Scabedo, pronouns she, her, hers. I'm the program manager of the youth shelter. And I'm passionate about this work just because I think these youth are some of the coolest, most creative youth that I've ever met, and think that they have so much to offer the world. So just trying to create a society where we allow them to.
Most definitely. If I look awkward, I'm looking to the side, looking at y'all. So I'm looking. Anybody else from San Diego Youth Services?
No, I think it's just me, but excited to work with you all. Thank you.
Yes, excited. Yes. Alternatives for girls.
My name is Audrey Watkins. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. For this particular, I'm a grant manager, one of the managers for this particular grant for our organization. And the reason why I'm so passionate about this work, Alternatives for Girls' mission is to support at-risk girls and young women. My role here at Alternatives for Girls has been to support the older trafficking survivors. But what I've come to realize is, dang, if I can catch them younger and pour into them earlier, some of the successes that we are seeing could just be so much greater. So I'm new to the youth part of human trafficking, but not human trafficking, and I am really excited to help support our young survivors.
Yes, thank you for that. That's nice to hear. Is anybody else from AFG?
I'm also here. I think there's one other on the call too. And I did not want to follow Miss Audrey because she's always so great with everything, but I'm Jonquil, she, her. We're in Detroit, and I'm the VP of programs here. So my role is really just to make sure everything's going okay. But this is an area that I've been passionate about for over a decade. Done a lot of work personally with child abuse, child sexual abuse, formed a trafficking task force back in the day when it was new to be able to do that kind of thing. And it's exciting to see how funding and like there's a movement behind it now in a way that there wasn't, 15 years ago. So the impact, I think, is going to be really big for the people that we work with.
Yes, I'm Sandra Ramick, and I'm sorry I couldn't get my camera working, but I am the Director for Outreach and Education, and this work falls under my purview. And I won't repeat what Ms. Audrey and John Quill said, but we're very excited to enter into that prevention space. We have been doing a lot of the intervention work, and this is new for us, and we're excited to meet the needs of, if we could be proactive and do that kind of work, and also to really specifically focus on some of our particular population whom we serve. And so this is exciting for us. We're here to learn and to grow and learn from a lot of you who've been doing this work all along. So thank you for this opportunity.
Yes, thank you so much. I was about to call y'all AFG. That's how I'm known. Detroit, yeah. I
Yes,
was like, hold
yes.
on, yes. I'm in Detroit too. So yeah, very familiar with you all. So thank you so much for that. So next we have Community Coalition Against Human Trafficking.
Yeah, this is Chantel Standifer. She, her, we're based out of Knoxville, Tennessee. I in particular am the Director of Research and Strategic Innovation. And on this grant, I was the grant writer and then the grant administrator. I don't remember the technical terms, but I kind of make sure everyone's doing their thing and make sure reports and stuff get in on time. So keeping the pieces moving. I am passionate about this work. Personally, this extension of the work, we obviously live in a geographical area that tends to have a very fear and shame-based approach to all things related to exploitation and sex and all of the healthy things that we should be talking to our young people about. And so I appreciate the opportunity to get out there and have real, honest conversations that are based on facts and have the intention of actually doing some change. So that's kind of my passion. And then this was we've been in human trafficking services for a long time. And so this is our first opportunity to get out of victim services and work on that prevention side. So.
Yes, thank you so much. Nice meeting you. Is there anybody else from your team?
Yes, this is Kate Trudell from the Community Coalition. I apologize, my camera is off. We had a trip scheduled already for today, so I'm barreling down the highway. I'm not driving, but I'm sitting in the passenger seat and have kids in the car and all kinds of chaos around. So I apologize that I'm here just listening. But our she, her, I am the executive director of the coalition, but on this grant, oversee all of the financial stuff and the invoicing and billing and making sure that we're spending our money appropriately, and then just doing anything Chantel tells me to do. And I'm excited about this project specifically in this work because, like some other folks have said, that this is our kind of first big step into prevention work, where we've been doing more intervention for quite a while, but this is our first big step into prevention, and I'm excited.
Thank you so much. And I know all about it, having been on the road with kids. So I'm here for it, as you hear mine in the back. All right. Thank you so much. It was nice meeting you both. We're going to move on. We're going to go to Unbound now. Anybody from there? I don't think so. Okay, let's move on. Community violence solutions.
Okay, I'm Christina. I'm a CSEC case manager, and I'm here with Miss Luann. Her volume on her computer is not working too great right now.
Okay. Well, Luann, it's nice to see you again. Long time no see. So great to see your face again in this space. I'm super excited.
My pronoun is she, her. Like I said, I'm a CSEC case manager. I think my passion is wanting to help these young girls or males, these youth in general, know that they matter and what they went through, they can survive if, putting in the hard work, and that they can live a very happy, productive, good life. And I want to help them not let what happened to them or what they went through get the best of them. So that's why I think a lot of us are here and to help give them a voice, help them find their voice.
Yes, thank you so much. It's nice meeting you. I look forward to working with you as well too. Community Violence Solutions.
Good morning. I am the Executive Director of Community Violence Solutions. She, her, my pronouns. The reason I'm doing this work, I've been in the field for over 30 years, and we've been working with victims of human trafficking since 2005. And I see the impact of trafficking in our community every day, on my way to work, on my way home. It has touched my heart. It's one of our newest programs, and we're committed to moving forward with supporting our clients. And trying to prevent this is just awesome. You know, getting the word out, making sure that folks are educated about the issues in our community. So I'm excited to be a part of this collaborative.
We're excited to have you. Okay, so thank you all, thank you all, thank you all. That's just super important for us, super important to get to know who we are just as much as we want to know who you are. So to learn more about, your fellow cohort members, the websites are on these slides, which you all will have access to. So we'll go to the next slide and I will pass it to Joy.
Thank you so much. We look forward to getting to know you all even more over the next few years and additional members of the team that may be on working on the project as well. So I want to share a little bit about Youth Collaboratory. We are, again, so excited to have the opportunity to walk alongside you in the important work that you do. Youth Collaboratory, we primarily work with organizations, so we don't do direct service. Our work is to support organizations who are doing the direct service. And we serve organizations and professionals working to improve the lives of young people, their families, and communities. And we harness that power of the youth services community to innovate, evaluate, and drive effective strategies that assure the safety and well-being of youth and young adults, unlocking their limitless potential. So our work focuses primarily on 3 areas, and you'll hear us talk about focus areas. And the first is that coordinated community response to youth and young adult homelessness. So when you hear us refer to the youth housing justice work, that's what we're talking about. So we do a lot of work in that area, and we have recognized that we have to focus in on special populations there too as well. We have to focus in, we know that LGBTQ plus youth and Black youth are disproportionately impacted by homelessness. So we're working to address that and prevent that as well. The preventing and addressing relationship violence, sexual exploitation, and trafficking of youth. That is what we refer to as our liberation focus area. So we're very intentional in that for those of us, like you said, who've been in the work for 30 years or more, we're talking about a lot of risk factors. We're talking about a lot of violence, unfortunately, with these situations. And we want to keep our eye focused on eradicating this and recognizing that liberation is possible, that freedom from this heinous crime is possible. So you'll hear us refer to our work as the liberation focus area, and that is including the work that we do around anti-trafficking. And finally, the focus area of supporting opportunities for young people to build community with family, with peers, and others to enhance their assets and explore their strengths and develop lasting connections. So that's the work we do in the mentoring space. And we know that some of you you may have mentoring components in your work. You may have residential components or housing components in your work. So we say we focus on these 3 areas, but we also know that there's one person that we're working with or one family or one community that they all could be experiencing the same thing. And so you'll talk about us continuing to want to de-silo the work and be collaborative in our efforts, because we know that if we are leading into all of these areas well, then we can help to eradicate all of them to build the community, but also prevent and address human trafficking, rid ourselves of human trafficking, and rid ourselves of homelessness, youth homelessness especially. So I'm going to share a link for Youth Collaboratory. If you want to learn a little bit more about us, you can, that link in the chat. But I also want to share specifically a little bit more about the liberation focus area, which is important to how we come to the work. So the Liberation Focus Area centers youth and communities that have been disproportionately impacted by exploitation, trafficking, gender-based and relationship violence. And in collaboration with these communities and local leaders, we create equitable and culturally responsive prevention and intervention practices and strategies for holistic healing and wellness. So basically, and you'll hear us talk about this a lot, is that we are hoping that everyone in the community is doing the same thing, that you're looking at who's on the margins in your communities, who is disproportionately impacted in your community, and what can you do to work and center them in efforts to provide prevention and intervention. Because we know if we focus on the outliers, everybody wins. So that's what we're doing. We're hoping that you do the same, and we'll spend a lot of time, unpacking that in different ways as we dig deeper into the work. But just to share a little bit about how we approach it here, we wanted to provide that. And it's a lovely picture of our team when we had the opportunity to be in DC for a mentoring summit. So with that, I want to pass it to Deja to talk a little bit about the Girls Action Board team and how they relate to the work that we do.
Yes, yes, yes. So who are our Girls Action Board team? So we are a national leadership team made up of diverse representation of female identified Black girls from ages 18 and 24 with lived expertise. We are deeply committed to creating pathways for Black girls to lead in this work that centers their healing, resilience, and professional development. We focus on Black girls who are disproportionately represented in trafficking, and we create space for their voices to be uplifted to the forefront of the field. And we do so by providing training and technical assistance to organizations in the field that directly seek to serve them. Our team is dedicated to building capacity, authentic youth collaboration, and community. We all lead this work with passion, pursue change, and utilize our part to support prevention and early intervention efforts in trafficking of Black girls. So as you saw in the beginning of our team, there was two, with me being the GAP lead, but we are expanding. We are in the process of hiring on more GAP members. So you'll be meeting them soon in the future to come, and it's super excited. They're all amazing. The past year, they've done past 2 years, actually, they've done some really amazing work, and really great projects have come from this team. So shout out to Toya and Michaela, who are here and present and who just moved to our leadership. So super excited. So we can go to the next slide, and I'll pass it to Lenore.
Thank you so much, Stacia. So our work expands through providing support and services and TA through all the youth and all the populations that you serve that are experiencing human trafficking. Unfortunately, sadly, and the reality is that there is biases in service delivery, and those biases oftentimes result in problematic outcomes, which is what we find is the overrepresentations of girls of color, more specifically speaking of Black girls. So we have some data here that we wanted to share with you all, just to give you a deeper dive into the work and the TA and why we have a focus on Black girls. Nationally, Black girls represent 31% of the girls referred to law enforcement by school officials, and 43% of those arrests on school grounds, but only make up 17% of the overall student population. We also found that while only 14% of children under 18 in the United States are Black, 35% of the girls in our juvenile facilities nationally are Black youth. Black girls are also suspended at higher rates, 12% than girls of any other race, ethnicity, and even most boys. So you see that there's an overrepresentation of Black girls in our service delivery. And in our support for you all, we work to address those potential harms and ways to center culture as a protective factor. We also support our work in your programs by identifying any other population that might be overrepresented, and we provide fuller and more equitable services. And in the next slide, what you're going to find is just more additional data into the focus that we do in our communities. And again, we will work with your programs. We'll do a deeper dive to really understand the landscape in your communities and who's being overrepresented in ways that we can start centering culture as protective factors. In our work in centering Black girls, we know that 40% of human trafficking survivors are Black women, and 51% of all prostitution arrests are Black youth under the age of 18. Now, even though Black youth make up 13% of the population, population, and we know that there's no such thing as a child prostitute, and many of our states no longer arrest for prostitution, there's still arrests that are taking place for crimes related to their trafficking experiences, such as shoplifting, loitering, trespassing, and even just being kicked out of organizations. So if you look at the screen here, some of the things that we were able to identify is that, and I'm going to jump around here, so I'm not reading all of them for time purposes, but Black girls become trafficked at younger ages than their other racial counterparts. We also found that there is a lack of research on the outcomes regarding Black girls and trafficking. So there's not enough research in the work that we're doing in our communities. Black girls experience physical and sexual abuse at younger ages and witness multiple forms of violence at higher rates than their white peers. And then we also found that Black girls are at higher risk for exploitation and trafficking, and then also arrest cases when we're talking about prostitution. So those are just some general statistics that we wanted to share with you all to briefly show the racial disparities between Black girls and other racial groups, and just seeing how Black girls are disproportionately impacted. So I'm going to pass it over to Daisha to really go into a deeper dive to our approach and the TA that you will be receiving.
Yes, we can go to the next slide. Okay, so what is our approach to TTA? So just to develop and utilize an assessment tool to establish strong equity baselines and benchmarks for youth service delivery. A little bit later, we'll talk about our baseline assessments, but this is custom to strengths and areas of interest for growth and development within your all organization. Address the prevalence and persistence of racism and ethnic bias and that continue to shape practices. And we do this this is informed by evidence and emerging practices and practice-based models that we know work and have an equitable lens. We provide resources and we know are enhancing the film support your organization's implementation of those resources. We do this also by and inform those with lived expertise. So this approach to practice focuses on the needs of those we serve. We believe in centering those that are most vulnerable. This is a build on our people first, human first approach. Satisfying your deliverables matters to us, and we want to support you in fulfilling your grant deliverable by centering the young people. So we will have opportunities for your organization to be in community with members of our GAB that we talked about, while empowering the young people in your own communities. Customized to strengths and areas of interest for the growth and development. We access where you are and provide resources that are relevant and impactful to your organizational needs. Assist programs to shift practices and better serve youth where needed. We do this by being strategic and transformational. We'll hear us also talk about our monthly check-ins, and they are designed to identify growth spots, emerging trends, and needs you may have to enhance and provide quality services. We are also believing in providing TA through human rights approach so that you and your young people, that you and the young people that you served are empowered. And I'm going to go to the next slide and pass it to Joy.
Thank you, Deja. Sorry about that. I was muted. So assess the organizational TA needs. So this is the place where I just want to say that this is our opportunity to get to know you all and to get to know the goals of your project, but beyond the goals of your project, where you all envision, what's your vision for the future, and how can we as Youth Collaboratory and the Liberation Team help you get there? So one of the tools that we use to do this is the baseline assessment. So following this meeting, we will share with each of you, a link to your own personalized baseline assessment. You will fill that out with your teams, and then we will have a meeting with your team members and us to talk through the answers and the things that came up in your baseline assessment. So there's a few purposes and reasons why we do this. So the first is to discuss and get to know your vision and goals for the project. Everyone's project is different. Folks have different goals, different landmarks, different strengths. So we want to know, what is your agency superpower? What are you amazing at? What does the field need to learn from your organization and your approach to the work? And where have you identified there are opportunities for growth? What are those places, that you want to see a shift in the next 6 months, in the next year, 2 years, 3 years? And we want to help create some actionable goals and support you all in getting there. So in that meeting, we'll discuss the vision. We'll also get an opportunity to introduce you more deeply to the Youth Collab point of contact, to the person who's going to be your main contact for technical assistance and training. And also, like Deja was mentioning, a member of the Girls Action Board team. And in that meeting, we will also walk through that assessment and those answers. And absolutely, Renata, I'm hoping I said your name correctly, but you will absolutely have access to the PowerPoint slides for sure. So we'll talk through again and figure out where are the strengths and where are the opportunities. And that's what we'll create our TA plan. We know that everybody's the schedule and strengths and opportunities for growth will be different. So we want to be sure that we are catering that specifically to you. Who should participate in the baseline assessment and in that initial meeting? Whoever is going to be the primary point of contact. So it's so nice to have EDs on the call, grant managers, case managers, people who are wearing multiple hats. And if it's you that is a contact and you know that there's an additional person or there's a young person who's an alumni or that you all collaborate with, feel free to include them on the meeting. We will also in our follow-up email ask for contact information for any additional folks who should be included on that invite. The baseline assessment will take some time. We'll give you 2 or 3 weeks to complete that. You will likely need multiple people, multiple members of your team in order to complete it. And I would suggest that those folks who had a part in completing the assessment be present at the meeting where we talk through it. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and pass it to Lenore.
Thank you so much, Joy. So the next part is we're going to talk about how are we providing this TA? What is it going to look like? So if we can go to the next slide, please. So we provide TA. We're going to be doing consultation monthly via our check-ins. So the nice thing about them is that they are designed based on your programmatic needs. So we intentionally focus on centering your program needs and any challenges that might arise. The purpose of these TA check-ins is to see where your program's progress are and identify anywhere in the work that we might need to lean in or assist your organization. Our work is simply to support you and be in community with you and be allies to this work. So as a resource, we want to be able to provide you with any additional resources, enhancements, or just any areas where we identify tender spots for growth. We'll also be able to provide updates on different training opportunities that might arise as a result to updates in the field, emerging research that we may encounter, and other relevant information throughout our monthly TA check-ins. As you work and your organizations are constantly evolving, your TA check-in needs will also evolve. So we'll make sure that we're conducting those check-ins and see where those technical assistance is actually needed for your program. Additionally, it allows for us to hear emerging trends that are happening in your community. What are some things that you want to highlight, things that you want to share, or things that you're seeing that we want to focus on? We can also identify areas where we could provide possible training on those additional needs. So that baseline assessment, it starts off with us saying like, here's where we are in our program and here are the goals and the things we need. And those TA check-ins allows us to really measure, check in, see if those things evolve, see if those things are changing, and make sure that we're providing TA in those spaces. What I personally love about our TA and our virtual check-ins is this place for us to really be in community with one another. TA check-ins are not designed to give you another meeting, another work, something else to do, but it's really designed for us to really just lean into this work, lean into this project, and have some conversations around it. Many of the staff and the team members that are going to be in these TA check-ins, we come from programmatic working, we come from being direct care staff, we've come from having this funding before. So we're going to bring in that expertise in areas of ways to strengthen your programming, some areas of whether it's outreach, what does it look like to bring in mentors into your programming. So we bring in some of those experiences that we have so that you can enhance your program services for the sustainability of your project and the lifespan of this grant. The next thing that I'm really excited to share about is our annual grantee meeting. And so our annual grantee meeting is coming up this year. And honestly, I'm excited because it's the first time that we're going to be able to do this in a few years, because we all know that COVID took place, so wanting to hold space for those in our communities that are no longer with us, and also being able to hold space for those of us that are still in this work in spite of all of those challenges. So if you can, once you jump off of this call, please save the date on your calendars. It's going to be taking place May 24th, 2023 to May 26th. So we ask that you hold those dates. And the annual grantee meeting, and also I was a grantee, and Joy also was, under Youth Collaboratory. And some of those things that we've learned and the things that you all are going to learn is opportunities to build in-person communities with programs and their stakeholders, OVC and Youth Collaboratory. So it's a replica of this space, but it allows us to be in person, to really hear about what's happening in our projects, what's happening on the ground, what are some ways to strengthen our projects and our opportunities. We're going to have facilitated by peer-to-peer information sharing and networking between sites. We encourage you all to build community with one another. And this is one of those spaces that you're going to be able to, because sometimes it's hard to do it virtually, but we will be sitting next to one another in person. Also, for our annual grantee meeting, it provides opportunities for organizations to network and problem solve. So some of those things that we're going to be able to identify through our TA check-ins prior to that, some of those things that we see that are happening national, you're going to be in a space with individuals who are doing similar work across the nation for us to begin problem solving. And then lastly is creating space to innovate and exchange information. And that's that recharge piece for us to really become creative again and to be recharged on that passion piece that we spoke about earlier, and be reminded why we do this work and come up with ways for us to do this work better. Another form of our TA. So you've heard about the baseline assessment. We're going to be doing monthly check-ins. We're going to have an in-person grantee meeting. And again, all of this is to strengthen your program for the sustainability of your program. One additional space that we want to have you all in is our Learning Collaborative. So the Learning Collaborative is an interactive learning experience where service providers and community stakeholders receive shared resources, training, and evidence-based practices for their peers and leading field experts. So the Learning Collaborative is designed to enhance the youth service field by teaching, sharing knowledge, and identifying collective efforts to improve the well-being of young girls impacted by sex trafficking. This community is perfect for program staff and direct care staff within your programming. So these are individuals who we know are working in person with young people. These are the individuals, the caseworkers. We have some caseworkers on the call. We hear that we have individuals who are actually doing outreach on the call. This is where you want to be. In this Learning Collaborative, you'll be able to actually have relationships, mentorships, being in spaces with those that are actually doing the work. We do ask that you have at least one representative within your project, and then we also invite your project partners. So who are you partnering with in the community that's doing this work with you, specifically to this grant? And then we also ask that you bring in a young person. So if you do have like a youth catalyst team or a youth leadership board, bringing in young people so that are encouraged or that do want to take to want to do this work, or that are helping you design and develop and sustain your programming. This is a space for us to have deep conversation. Each conversation is tailored through sustainability. What does it look like to work with young people in the juvenile justice system? What does it look like for mentorship programs? It's a variety of information where you get access to people just outside of Youth Collaboratory that are doing this work, that are leading in this work. So it's additional resources and TA. You will begin to receive emails for the Learning Collaborative post this conversation. So just give us a few weeks, and it might come out in a month or so. And in that invite, you will be able to see that curriculum, what's going to take place in our Learning Collaborative. And once you receive that, we ask that you just start calendaring that in. So we want to make sure that you have access to all the future dates. And in that way that you have time to prepare to make sure that you have a team member on those sessions with us. So that is a lot of TA, and that's because it's a lot of love in this work so that you all are sustainable and equipped and have all the resources that you deserve, so that we can better impact the lives of the young people that we provide services to. So I now want to open the floor up to any questions that we may have from you all. And my team is going to join me, myself and Joy, should there be any questions that you all have regarding anything that you heard today.
A couple things while you all are coming up with all of the questions that you have is that we will absolutely share the slides and recording from this session with you after this, so you'll have it for reference. If you're like me and you need to see the words and read them. And also the in-person is a save the dates. We'll be in touch as soon as we know for sure, but please mark those dates on your calendar.
Hi, I do have a quick question. The like technical assistance and stuff like that, is that happening on like a monthly, quarterly basis? And is that one-on-one or like a group?
Sure, great question. So generally it is once a month. We have the call that's specific to your organization. And how we generally do it is it's usually 2 to 4 people from an organization and a TA manager who will be there to support specific either grant implementation things or just working through the TA plan based on the baseline assessment. Additional support can be provided if needed, but it's usually once a month.
Thank you. And will you guys be reaching out to us to schedule, or should we be reaching out to start that process?
We'll definitely reach out to you to start that. That initial meeting will be to review the baseline assessment. And once we've done that, then we'll schedule the recurring monthly meetings.
Thank you.
Any questions for us, for Cindy, for each other?
I have a quick question, and you guys might have said it, but of course, in this work, you get distracted by other things that's going on. Save the date, May 24th, 26th. Did you guys say where that was happening?
We did not. So we are still confirming the location, and we will let you know as soon as we can.
Thank you.
This is Cindy, just on a follow up with that. It's quite a process to get approval through kind of the federal regulations. So they're going through the conference cost reporting requirements. And so that's why we have the dates, but the site, we're hoping we have the date, but it all has to go through our approval process. So as soon as that is confirmed through all the channels that it has to go through on our end, Youth Collaboratory will get all that information out so that you can plan your teams. And then again, hopefully we'll be able to see you all there once it is scheduled. But thank you for your patience with that, and Youth Collaboratory for all the effort that goes into that process.
And Kristen, can you specify other grantees for this project that will be a part of the Learning Collaborative? There's 7 altogether. Oh, for OVC, it's a question. Cindy, do you know that number? How many grantees are there around the country doing this work?
We have right now we have 500 grantees that are being managed through the Human Trafficking Division, but that work runs the gamut from housing to our ECMs, which is our Enhanced Collaborative Task Forces, direct service providers, our minor victims of sex trafficking, minor victims of labor trafficking. So within the link that I have above to the matrix of all OVC funded awards, you can see all of them there. All the awards, the funding within your state and throughout the country has them all listed.
Any other questions that you all may have for us? Well, thank you so much for being in community with us today. I believe our next slide is going to have our information. We will be reaching out to you all to begin scheduling those baseline assessments and also those monthly TA check-ins. But please, if you have any questions, if you just want to be in community with us sooner, if you just want to, if you have questions on resources that you may have received and want us to review, or resources that you may need, do not wait for that initial email. Feel free if you want to reach out to us today, tomorrow, or whenever it works for you. So please, on this slide, you will have access to our email addresses. We are excited to begin this TA relationship with you all. And we just thank you for this amazing work that you're doing across the nation. Thank you for still doing this work. We know that it can bring its challenges, and your passion that we heard early on. We know that we are a community with incredible people that is doing very challenging work. So we just thank you for being in community with us today. We thank you for the work that you all are doing. And then lastly, if you head over to the chat, you will find an evaluation link. And that evaluation link is for you just to share how today's experiences was. You will be in a lot of virtual spaces with us, so we want to make sure that it's as comfortable as possible and that you are just enjoying the resources and the information and the conversation. So please, it's very critical that we receive information via that evaluation link. So please go ahead and click that, copy it, and paste it into another web browser. And just thank you. Thank you so much for being in community with us today. We hope that you all have an amazing, productive, and a joy-filled day. Bye.